You were a star child, let your light shine for all the world. When you open your mouth to reveal a pearl, let it shine more, just to light the path. If it don't add up, man, just do the math. If it ain't for you, let it pass on through.
How you doing? This is Terrion Wilson, aka yo boy, Brotha T, here with another one. We like to call this channel T's Life Tree. And on this channel, we like to drop pine cones of wisdom. If you don't know what that is, stick around, stay on the channel, you'll get it. Before we get started, I need you to do me a favor. I need you to like, I need you to subscribe. Because when you like and subscribe, then we can continue to give you those pine cones of wisdom. Because I know you love them. And I know you love your boy, Brotha T. All right, so let's get into it. This is the next episode in our 48 Laws of Power series, the book that was written by Robert Greene, one of my favorite books of all time. As you can see, I read through it. This is how you know somebody's really reading the book. You see these little folds? This book didn't sit on the shelf. This is episode 2, law number 2. Never put too much trust in friends. Learn how to use enemies. All right. Ooh, this is a deep one. And this one will resonate for a lot of you out there because sometimes you can be close to your friend, and sometimes your friend can be the end all be all, especially for some of you ladies. You really are close with your friends. But sometimes you have to be careful on who you make your friend, and also you need to be careful on how close you let them get to you. So let's read what he has here. So it says, never put too much trust in friends. Learn how to use enemies. Be wary of friends. They will betray you more quickly, for they are easily aroused to envy. They also become spoiled and tyrannical. But hire a former enemy, and he will be more loyal than a friend, because he has more to prove. In fact, you have more to fear from friends than from enemies. If you have no enemies, find a way to make them. That's deep. And what he uses for an example, he uses Michael III, who was a young man when he assumed the throne of the Byzantine Empire during the 9th century, right? The mid-9th century AD. What happened with Michael III? He got in and he started ruling. The people that was there before him, his father and his mother, I believe. His mother got banished to some kind of nunnery or something. His father got murdered, supposedly by his uncle. So it was deep back then, wasn't it? Okay, so he assumed the throne and he was a younger man. So he needed somebody he can really trust. So who did he go to? He went to his best friend, of course, Basilius. All right, so Basilius was an interesting individual. And he started lavishing gifts and certain things on Basilius. And Basilius was a really good friend to him, really near and dear to his heart. But Basilius kept going, okay? He ended up doubling his salary, tripling his salary, gave him everything he wanted when he wanted. So when the king fell on hard times, he went to Basilius and said, hey man, I know I've been looking out for you, and I know you're over this and that. Look, I have some financial things going on. I need you to pitch in. I need you to help. And Basilius said, no, I'm good. What? I gave you everything. I was the king. I gave you everything that you wanted. Like, you ain't gonna help me out? No, I'm good. See, what happened was Basilius rose through the ranks and he became so powerful that he started getting everybody on his side. All the senators, everybody that had influence around the king started rolling with Basilius. He gave Basilius too much power. All right, so what happened? They killed the king and he rode around with his head on a stick for everybody to see. I'm your new king. So Basilius took over after that. Okay, so what's the motto of that story? I think it's self-explanatory, right? So watch your friends, okay? You can have friends. I'm not telling you not to have them. And if they're close and they've proven themselves loyal over the years, that's a great thing. But don't tell them every single thing that's going on in your life. Don't dare. How many times, and I'm talking to the ladies now, but how many times have you had a friend and you told them too much stuff about your marriage? And then sometimes you'll get into a situation where that other woman agree with you and go ahead and encourage you to get away. You don't need them, girl. Go ahead, boom. And then as soon as you start moving out the door, she moves in. We've heard those stories, right? But guys are a little snaky in different types of ways too. You got guys that'll sleep with your wife too, behind your back, and you know. So you got to be careful, okay? Be careful with your friends and how close you let them get. Once again, I'm not telling you not to let them get close, but I want you to always beware and be watchful of those around you, and be careful what information specifically you're giving out, especially if you're married. Keep people on the outside out of your marriage, okay? Keep them out. Let the marriage be between the two. Most of the problems in the marriage, keep those between two. Sometimes when you even let your mother and your father in on it, a lot of times they only get the bad information. So when you're trying to work on your marriage or relationship, now your mother and father is looking at the other person because they've only been fed the bad information. So they're looking at them like, hey, you know, I don't like him. Why are you still with him? So that's how that works. So be careful and be wary of that, okay? So in the second part of that, he talked about Emperor Sung of the Chinese dynasty. He took over after 222 AD, after the fall of the Han dynasty. So in that case, what he did was interesting because he didn't trust any friends after he took over. Anybody that played like it was his friend or they were too close to him, he poisoned them. He got them out of there. Now the people who would be looked at as his enemies, he gave them, he chased them out of town still, but he would give them nice houses and stuff like that. That way they always stayed kind of on his side because he could have killed them too, right? So what did he do when he did that? He made his enemies more loyal than the actual friends around him. I'm not telling you to do this, okay? I'm just telling you that sometimes enemies can end up being your best allies. So remember, there's a difference between being a friend and being an ally. Some of you out there think you have friends, and you really don't. And some out there think that people are just your enemies when they're not. Sometimes you can take an enemy and make him your ally. How can you do this? By giving him an incentive, something that helps him win, something that he wants, okay? I'll give you an example. Sometimes when countries get into these conflicts and these wars, you'll have countries that are allied with other countries. Doesn't mean they're friends with that country. Okay, what that means is both sides are getting what they want out of that deal. So they'll come together to keep another country from doing whatever. Hitler was engaged in a lot of war crimes, a lot of things against humanity. So countries, whether they liked each other or not, if they were against what he was doing and it was against their interests, they would band together, try to get in there, stop him. Okay, so all of those people that were on the other side of that, they weren't all friends, those countries, but they were allies. They wanted to stop Hitler at all costs, right? So there's an example. Now we're going to wrap this up. I hope you're enjoying the series. This is Robert Greene's 48 Laws of Power. We're just going step by step. We're going law for law. I'm going to try to read, at least the beginning part of the law. I'll give you the example he gave, and if I have a real life example, I'll try to give that too. So I just want to give some people some knowledge and maybe even jumpstart you reading that book. It's a really cool book, and I think everybody at one point in their life should read it. I don't care how old you are. You can learn a lot of things from that book, because what you realize as you're reading the book is that you've been through some of those situations, okay? You've been through them. Sometimes you've been the perpetrator of some of those. Sometimes they've been perpetrated on you. A lot of those situations will come up in your mind as you're reading it, and you're going to say to yourself, wow, so that's what really happened. So this is your man, Brotha T. And of course, I'd like to thank you for taking the time for watching this video. Make sure you like and subscribe if you liked it. Leave a comment. I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can. This is your man, Brotha T, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family, peace.